Don't you just love this weather? This is in response to a 3-video series speech by William Lane Craig, which is an emotional, prolonged pleading with people to believe in his faith because they'll be better off. That's Pascal's wager. He says so in the end. In this speech, Craig reveals himself sickeningly and nauseatingly to be a mendacious prick. I have several reasons to say that. Wouldn't you expect, if somebody like Craig gives a speech exposing his ideology, because religion is an ideology, and gives quotations from literary or other works to support his ideology, that those quotations should reflect the author's viewpoint? Or when he states that the author's viewpoint is the same as his, when it actually is the contrary, that this is lying. He starts his shameless pleading, not devoid of threatening aspects, with
"For if there is no God, then man's life becomes ultimately absurd. It is without ultimate meaning, without ultimate value, without ultimate purpose." I'd like to look at each one of these tonight. First, life is without ultimate meaning.
It is disingenuous to speak of ultimate significance of the human life in the idealistic religious sense of it being created and given by a higher being when speaking of the atheist viewpoint. People have a sense of the value of human life here on earth, where it matters, and those who don't are not all atheists. Many of them are Christian. So your ultimate significance doesn't help, does it?
The sacrifices of good people everywhere to better the lot of the human race. In the end, all of these come to nothing. They don't make one bit of difference, not one bit.
Apparently not to you, without your God.
And therefore each person's life is without ultimate significance. And because our lives are ultimately meaningless, the activities that we fill our lives with are also, in the final analysis, meaningless.
Speak for yourself.
The French existentialists, Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus.
Why pick only existentialism among the many other literary trends from that time? Surrealism, Dadaism, Futurism, Cubism. Existentialism is fashionable at a certain time with certain people. The existentialism of Sartre is not all you portray it to be. By the way, I have put a link below where Sartre himself gives answers to accusations of despair like that of Craig's.
Sartre portrayed life in his play No Exit as hell. The final line of the play are the words of resignation, "Well, let's get on with it." Hence, Sartre writes elsewhere of the nausea of existence. Man, he says, is adrift in a boat without a rudder on an endless sea.
I shall give some quotations from Sartre's lecture, shall I? We have no right to believe that humanity is something to which we could set up a cult, after the manner of Auguste Comte. The cult of humanity ends in Kantian humanism, shut in upon itself, and, it must be said, in fascism. We do not want a humanism like that. Existentialism is optimistic. It is a doctrine of action, and it is only by self-deception, by confining their own despair with ours, that Christians can describe us as without hope.
Camus also saw life as absurd. Life, he said, is like a man doomed for all eternity to roll a boulder up a hill only to have it continually roll back down again, over and over and over again.
Camus, The Myth of Sisyphus. At that subtle moment when man glances backward over his life, Sisyphus returning toward his rock, in that slight pivoting, he contemplates that series of unrelated actions which becomes his fate, created by him, combined under his memory's eye, and soon sealed by his death. Thus, convinced of the wholly human origin of all that is human, a blind man eager to see who knows that the night has no end, he is still on the go, the rock is still rolling. I leave Sisyphus at the foot of the mountain. One always finds one's burden again. But Sisyphus teaches the higher fidelity that negates the gods and raises rocks. He too concludes that all is well. This universe henceforth, without a master, seems to him neither sterile nor futile. Each atom of that stone, each mineral flake of that night-filled mountain in itself forms a world. The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Life has no meaning, and that there is no God to give it one. The French biochemist Jacques Monod seemed to echo these sentiments when he wrote in his work Chance and Necessity, "Man finally knows that he is alone in the indifferent immensity of the universe."
More quotations by Jacques Monod. In the course of 3 centuries, science, founded upon the postulate of objectivity, has conquered its place in society, in men's practice, but not in their hearts. Modern societies are built upon science. They owe it their wealth, their power, and the certitude that tomorrow far greater wealth and power still will be ours if we so wish. Modern societies accepted the treasures and the power that science laid in their laps. But they have not accepted, they have scarcely even heard, its profounder message, the defining of a new and unique source of truth, and the demand for a thorough revision of ethical premises, for a total break with the animist tradition, the definitive abandonment of the old covenant, the necessity of forging a new one. Armed with all the powers, enjoying all the riches they owe to science, our societies are still trying to live by and to teach systems of values already blasted at the root by science itself. For their moral basis, the liberal societies of the West still teach, or pay lip service to, a disgusting farrago of Judeo-Christian religiosity, scientific progressism, belief in the natural rights of man, and utilitarian pragmatism.
I think that it does clearly spell out the alternatives before us. If God does not exist, then life is futile. If the God of the Bible does exist, then life is meaningful. And therefore it seems to me that even if the evidence for and against these two alternatives were absolutely equal, that the rational thing to do is to believe in God. As Pascal has written, we have nothing to lose and infinity to gain.